Yes, boys, we're back with another video. And today I'm going to be answering the question, do I regret quitting weed? Because I know some of you guys watching this might be still on the weed. Maybe you're contemplating getting off it. And let me tell you the truth, I don't regret it one bit. You know, I'm actually like aiming for a lifelong sobriety, if I'm being truthful. Because weed destroyed my life. Weed destroyed my psyche. Weed destroyed everything that you could possibly name. And we really need to just look at weed as a whole and break it down on why it is awful for you. Now, let's talk about the first thing, the physical appearance. It drains you, bro. No one looks good when they're high. You look like a doofus, bro. You look like a bum with a capital B. And the thing is as well, you end up getting more of a puffy face because you end up eating more junk food, right? Like, you're not going to smoke weed and eat healthy, let's be real. Like, unless you're super disciplined, which I doubt you are if you're smoking weed, if I'm being 100% real. You're going to end up eating more junk food. You're going to be not getting the greatest sleep. You're not even going to be dreaming, bro. Like, I actually think when you smoke weed and you don't dream, I don't think that's good for you. Like, I know it's a whole thing of like, oh, I don't dream when I smoke anymore, but I don't think that's good. It's a natural thing. I actually think nightmares are a good thing because I almost see it as a release of trauma. Like, you need to be dreaming. You need to let your body naturally do what it wants to do. And if you're smoking weed, blocking that, like, is that really healthy? You're blocking like a natural thing. And this is the other thing with weed. It's an emotional suppressant. You know, I used to laugh at people who, well, not laugh, I think that's the wrong word, but I used to judge people who were on antidepressants because I'd be like, why are you on antidepressants? Just feel what you need to feel. It's going to make you feel better. But then I would go there and smoke my zoot. And it's like, well, I was doing the exact same thing as these people. I was smoking a zoot and then using it as an antidepressant to suppress what I didn't want to feel. And the other thing is like, since being off weed, I've never been more happy and joyful and present. Like, I was saying to my brother just a second ago when I left to come to the park, like, it feels so good being able to leave the house, not have my parents anxious that I'm smoking weed, not have to be walking around here dodging people because I smell of weed, and being able to sit here and be like, glory to God, I'm present, I'm here in a sober mind, the thoughts I'm getting are of a sober mind, and is wonderful. And this is the other thing, right? I want to make decisions that a sober person would make. When you're high, you get high thoughts. You get thoughts that are infiltrated by the substance of weed, and you're not thinking clearly. You're getting delusional thoughts. You're not going to make the right decisions. And we can all say, oh, I get more creative on weed, but shut up. You don't, man. Sure, you may be like, I don't know, think of cool things, but are you actually being productive? There was a meme I saw today on Instagram that made me laugh, right? And it's so true. You smoke weed and you go, I'm going to be productive. I'm going to really lock in when I smoke this weed when I get home. And it's like, dude, putting on a clown mask. Because it's so true, bro. You're lying to yourself when you say, I'm going to smoke weed and lock in. Yeah, sure, maybe you locked in for 30 minutes. But if you were sober, you probably would have got way more work done, been way more locked in, got your brain going. And you would make sober thoughts and sober decisions, which I think is very, very important. It's the same reason I don't drink. Like, I hate drinking. I've hated drinking since I was like 16. And the reason for this is a few ones. One, an alcoholic started off saying they're going to have one drink and then they turned into alcoholic. I'm terrified of becoming an alcoholic. Like, that's the one thing I wouldn't do. So that's why I had weed. Weed was my alternate to alcohol. I'd be an alcoholic if I wasn't a weed smoker, right? But thank God I'm not. And two, it's like, when you're drunk, you make stupid decisions. You don't make sober decisions. You end up maybe making decisions you regret. Likewise with weed, you smoke weed and you probably end up doing things you regret. Maybe not in the magnitude that someone would do when they're drunk in a club. However, you're probably going home and eating the junk food that you're not supposed to eat. You're going on the websites you're not supposed to go on because you're weak in flesh because you've already smoked weed, and it's so much easier to fall in temptation when you've smoked weed. And also, like I said, your dreams, you don't let yourself have good sleep. You're having bad sleep. You wake up tired. You wake up hungover. You wake up a bit like static. You don't feel yourself. And it's like, why would you be doing this to yourself? It's self-harm. You know, my priest literally said to me, whenever you're picking up weed, you need to see it as Satan giving it to you. It's not a human. It's Satan there giving it to you, because it's a satanic drug. It's a demonic drug. It causes delusion and it causes psychosis. Just get off it. And the other thing with weed for me is the amount of time it wastes. You waste so much time and money smoking weed. Like, let's say you smoke 3-5 a week, you're gonna end up spending like £150 a month on weed, plus the munchies. You end up spending like 300, sometimes £500 altogether with the stupid weed decisions you make, the food you're eating, and just other diabolical things you do while you're on weed. And is it really worth it, bro? Is it really worth that? Like, I really think I stunted my spiritual growth for so long because I was smoking weed, because it is an emotional suppressant. It suppresses what you're supposed to feel. And this is the thing I just want to hammer through in this video, is if you're smoking weed, and you are most likely escaping, which like you most likely are if you have a crippling weed addiction, you're escaping something, you need to face that pain no matter how hard it is, because on the other side of that process of feeling that pain is the greatest joy you ever feel in your life. Once you process trauma, once you process the pain that you're escaping, and you look at it and you say, I'm not scared of you anymore, and you process it, you feel it through, and you integrate it into yourself instead of pushing it away, you become a new man. You unlock new energy. Like, I'm not joking when I say I wake up and I do the karate chop because I'm like Super Saiyan energy, because I'm so pumped. Like today I woke up, I was tired, and as soon as I get out of bed, whoop-ow, to the gym. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just unlocked new energy. And that didn't just come from quitting the weed, because I quit weed in January, but I didn't do the trauma work. That was what got me back in the cycle. I didn't do the trauma work and I fell deep back into the weed smoking. So the thing I had to do was stop smoking weed and do the trauma work. That was the most important thing I've ever done in my life. And glory to God, because I thank him every day that he released me from those chains. Do the trauma work, right? It's so important. Look at your childhood trauma. Look at the trauma that's happened to you maybe even just 2 years ago. You have to look at it. Like, if you need to therapy, do it, right? Because it is so important. And I genuinely think this is the reason why I am never touching weed again, because I've broken the chain that kept me stuck there. The pain that was keeping me glued to smoking the weed. The thing that I was escaping, I just looked it in the eye finally, and I went, you don't have power over me anymore. And you know, that's what you have to do. So no, I don't regret quitting weed. It was the best decision of my life. And I'll give all glory to God, because I remember those were days, there were days where I would sit there and I'd be like, am I ever gonna quit this? I remember I'd be smoking a zoot and I was like, how would it feel to be a month clean? How would it feel to finally not actually want to do this anymore? I couldn't see it. I really couldn't. But now I see it, and there is a way out. Glory to God. I pray you're all well. Get off the weed. And trust me, the grass is greener on the other side. Put it that way. The grass is greener on the other side. I promise you that. Glory to God. Have a good day.